Hello everybody, my name is Myst. My contribution to this Nexon thread will be a little different. Rather than comment on anyone's video or opinions, I'd like to start with this. You don't matter to Nexon. You, me, Coppersan, even our community managers can quit tomorrow and Korean Nexon would not bat an eye. And honestly, the fault is ours. This video will offer some insight into how Nexon operates and handles regions like GMS through information provided to me by a Nexon insider who shall remain nameless for obvious reasons. Please understand that, at times, I will be unable to provide sources or supporting evidence due to the nature of this discourse. In time, there may be other opportunities to share more regarding this topic, so I will try to keep this entry as brief as possible. If this is a topic of interest to you, consider subscribing. I will continuously try my best to offer you content that differs from the usual complaining and ranting. Without further ado, let's begin. Our community suffers from two critical errors, the first being division, in that when terrible changes come our way, we either do nothing or complain until the Reddit karma soil is no longer fertile. Our second problem is that on those very rare occasions where we do find common ground and decide to speak up, we try to reach out and yell at the wrong people. Global MapleStory has no say in anything. I'll take it one step further. Not even the CEO of all of Nexon, Owen Mahoney, has full control over what the Korean development team does. Owen's role in Nexon is less about having a say when it comes to MapleStory content, and more about handling the board of directors and investments, as well as preparing all sorts of company reports for investors. When it comes to MapleStory content, Wonky has a lot more control than him. I am reminded of one particular instance during the last GMS boycott attempt, where a bunch of boycotters got together trying to write Owen a letter. It failed. To reiterate, Owen's affiliation with the company does not end at Nexon America. He is the CEO of the entire thing. But what we do have is an overseas director, a person by the name of Lee Sang-hyun, who is based in Korea. Above him in terms of rank at Nexon is Kang Wonki, the MapleStory Korea producer, and above both of them is the Nexon board of directors, whose decisions are mostly influenced by Nexon's investors. In this dynamic, the people above Wonki are not so much as content people. They are the ones who report to the CEO, the COO, and the investors. However, if they see something that could make them more money, or isn't making enough money, they will speak up and ultimately have their way. I absolutely assure you that everybody involved in producing and maintaining MapleStory is hard at work, with the purpose of pushing a product they can take pride in. However, their biggest challenge, all of them and us, is the crusty old suits at Nexon Korea who listen to virtually nobody that doesn't invest in the company. Korean customs also play a role in these suits not giving a damn about anybody, even if they work at Nexon Korea. Respect for one's seniors is a pillar of Korean culture, odd as that may be to us. Additionally, very little of what we have to say ever reaches the aforementioned suits, but I'm told by insiders who shall remain nameless for this video that Coppersan's The State of MapleStory did reach Nexon Korea, but was instantly dismissed as rage-baiting for views. I thank Coppersan for all he does, and I'm glad to know that he has the influence necessary to reach the Korean community, even if it is only met with scoffs and shrugs. I was also told several other things about how MapleStory is produced across multiple regions. To begin with, Global MapleStory is only considered an unofficial test server of sorts for Japanese MapleStory, who, unlike us, have an in-house developer team that is responsible for content such as Neo Tokyo, Asura Crisis, as well as Kana and Hayato, who at this point in time are not at risk of getting terminated due to JMS actually managing to have some level of say when it comes to decision-making. An example of what I mean by GMS being a test server is the Familiar system, a feature first released in GMS. I'm sure a lot of you remember how bugged it was for a very long time. That is, until it was released and fixed in JMS. Only then did it get fixed for us. Similarly, Chinese and Taiwanese MapleStory both fall under one singular developer team that is responsible for content such as Mo Xuan, Misty Island, Night Troop, and Abyss Expedition. Exclusive content produced by these three regions continues to receive updates, unlike GMS content, which is inevitably bound to be terminated when it's no longer viable from a development standpoint. meaning if it starts creating problems for Nexon developers, the axe will fall, rather than funnel resources into ensuring it stays both compatible and up to date. As for MapleStory, it is in a very awkward position. The region is handled by AsiaSoft, an online game operator that runs in all of Southeast Asia and is responsible for many titles over yonder, most of which have sadly been terminated. There is a rumor circulating within Nexon which states that the company is fed up with AsiaSoft and has been pushing for the homogenization of both GMS and MapleStory. Both regions are receiving the same content such as My Home, as well as seeing closer lineups in terms of release schedules. The notion of MapleStory becoming a gateway to GMS is, once again, just a rumor, although it does have some level of merit to it. Decisions regarding content removal are not made by Nexon America. Rather, it is left up to Nexon Korea, who are known even among themselves to be impulsive and uncaring for their departments. The irony of it is that even internal communication at Nexon is weak. They could decide, on a whim, to delete Masteria, for example, tell absolutely nobody for a week, then suddenly inform Nexon America to have it blocked by the next maintenance. For us GMS players, we are pretty much on the same boat as our Nexon. Another example of Nexon's interference with overseas content is seen with the Masteria revamp, which introduced a new equipment set. In testing, the set had a crit damage set bonus, but after Nexon Korea ordered that the set should not be a pitch set replacement, it was nerfed immediately, and the crit damage bonus would never be seen beyond early testing. Similarly, the double Gollix pendant set bonus nerf was pushed in the same manner without any consideration for what we thought about it. These changes come as a result of KMS producer Wonky's refusal of anything that goes against his linear vision for MapleStory. It can be said that Wonky does not view GMS as MapleStory. I wouldn't say he's a terrible person, but he's just way too stubborn and is intent on seeing the game turn out just the way he wants. In short, Wonky is the one who orchestrates all the GMS changes we perceive as terrible in order to set up future replacement content. This is my personal message to the GMS community. First, please lay off Ezreal and Vera. Both of them love the game as much as any of us, and would want nothing more than to help bring positive change to it. This community treats the both of them like crap for absolutely no reason. I assure you they are doing the best they can despite all the limitations I've mentioned in this video. Of course, we want them to do their best for us, but sometimes that best can come at a cost. Refer to former community manager Girasol as an example. Another point is that Bean Brigadiers are not obligated to defend Nexon or quote-unquote shill for them. Nexon does not filter or censor Bean Brigade affiliates. The recent videos of certain content creators which have elicited so many negative responses from our community are just their own personal opinions. These do not reflect the views of the rest of the Bean Brigade. And finally, our community should unite once again with the purpose of bringing about some positive change. The only languages Nexon speaks are money and time. If you're intent on playing Maple for hours on end and spending all the money you can on it, then the cause is doomed to fail. Global MapleStory's boycott attempts simply cannot work if the community is divided the way it is in the wake of all that has come to pass lately. Do your part. If you're unhappy about the game, make your voice heard the right way, and not on Reddit. I have learned that the higher-ups of Nexon, way above community managers, check two primary GMS platforms very often: the official Discord server and the forums. And don't worry about Global MapleStory getting shut down. It is very profitable, and even if the rest of Nexon America isn't, Nexon will not risk losing its foothold in Western markets by shutting down MapleStory. To close the video, I quote the Nexon insider who made all of this possible. "The game is in a good state and will continue to get better, but none of that matters if Nexon doesn't shape up communication and talk to their players. I will continue to advocate on the inside and ramp up after these recent videos. The overseas team needs to invite players to sit down and talk to them." Thank you so much for watching. This was a video I absolutely had to put out there, and should there be any follow-ups or insider knowledge I can share with you, I absolutely will. Consider subscribing for more content like this in the future, and as always, thanks for all of your support. See you soon!